Hello everyone. Um, Let me just turn this music off. So here what we see is a ISI clan point table. This includes multiple players in our clan for Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition. So far, the active players are here: myself, SS, Shujat, Kazım, Molvi Rush or Fussy, Shanwaz or Professor, and Qasim. So this table will be updated, I guess, weekly or daily. Shujat will keep track of the games that we play among us, and we'll see how we fare against each other. So far, I haven't played any games. I have been out of the action for pretty much a week, and looking to get started soon. Um, this will be pretty much every game that we play. We won't be able to say that there's no practice games. We just get in there, play a game, and hopefully we'll be able to win some games here. So far, SS has placed 2 against Molvi Rush and won them, and Shanwaz 4-4. That's interesting. Did he lose 4 games to Shanwaz? I understand. So 40 plus 60, so 60 minus 20. Oh shoot! Yeah, he did lose 4 games to Shanwaz. That's interesting. That is very interesting. And Shanwaz has won 1 against Molvi and lost 1. And against SS, he has won 4 and lost 4. So he gets 40 minus 20 points from here. And he gets 10 minus 5 points from here. Oh, wow. Okay. So very interesting. Kazım and myself and Qasim, we are out of the picture at this point. We'll play some games against each other and try and make this fun. So I wanted to start off with this and then try and hop into a game which was played between Professor and it was played between Shujat SS. I will get that game going. Very interesting game. Let's get connected to Capturage. Here we go. Arabia is the map. SS is playing as Britons. This is SS right here, playing as Britons. And this is Professor playing as Teutons. Teutons is a good civ, in my opinion. Very strong civ. If you go into their cavalry is strong. Their scout rush could be quick. SS is scouting his forward very quickly with his scout, and he's scouting his surroundings with his sheep. That's very interesting. It's good to see that he's able to do that. It's a good way of getting early scouting information on your opponent. Professor scouting is incredible. Look at the scouting range. Definitely amazing. So is, of course, so is SS. Like he scouted a lot of his front of his base, but Professor just around his town he scouted pretty quickly. It's good to see that. Looking at the maps quickly. So for Professor, pretty much a back gold. I mean, this gold is hard to harass. Stone as well. Berries are in the back. Another stone in the back. And then 2 neutral golds are sort of on the side, which are, you can say these are sort of exposed, unless he could pretty much wall off here as well just to make them safe. It's a big wall, but he could do that. Looking at SS's map, he has his main gold in the back, which is good. His berries, his stone is in the front. Except for his side stone, he has a side stone, but really another gold, neutral gold is a bit to the side. So not a bad map for both the players. It's decent. I think defendable gold positions and defendable stone positions for both players. So interesting to see that both the players are not playing gods against each other. They're both just playing different civilizations.
Mandatum.
I think Shujat didn't pay attention to his lumber camp. Two of his players, villagers, are on the wrong side of the lumber camp. I mean, it's not the end of the world there, but I think it's good practice to keep two on this side and two on the other side just for efficiency reasons overall, I think. All right, that's a better lumber camp, I would say, from Professor. Mill coming up on the berries. Both players are not really going for a drush of any sort. I don't see any barracks yet, but looks like a sheep was stolen by Professor and has walked away with that sheep. Both players seem to be looking for a late game, maybe. I don't see any barracks yet. Second boar coming in. SS is still looking for his sheep, I guess. And Professor is just scouting with his sheep. Just trying to test different hotkeys here as well at the same time for capture age. All right. So looks like we are in for a long game, as I don't see a barrack from both players. Walls are coming up for the Britain player. Is 4 on wood and 3 on berries. For some reason Professor Scout is a bit weak. I don't know where he took the shot. Maybe he took a DC fire here. I didn't pay attention to that. S is still looking for his sheep. He's very close. He's very close. He's gonna have it, I think. He's gonna get it. And come on, he just needs to go a bit to the left. Almost had that sheep back. That would be incredible if he did that. Wow. So looks like DC fire was the reason for Professor Scout being weak, and it's weaker now again. Maybe, okay, he tried to kill some villagers maybe. These are weak villagers.
Greeting?
So he got probably more HP lost to the villagers. This villager is also a bit weak. Or maybe it was weakened by the boar.
Hey,
Barracks coming up. Ooh. That's, ooh. Wow. Saved just by 3 HP. One stab, I think, and this one will die. Oh, there you go. There you go. One stab from the villager. The scout is gone. As for Professor Scout, standing still. Tell me you have loom. I think. Oh boy, you don't have loom. You lost a villager there. So that's as is. Not a very good start for Shujat here. Lost his scout, lost a villager. Palisade walls are coming up. Undoubtedly, when you are behind like that, I think palisade walls is a good answer to defend. 23, only behind by one villager, which is not too bad, I guess. Now he's even. Okay, behind by one. SS has queued up more villagers. So some players only queue up 1 or 2 villagers at a time. I think that works better in the late game. But if let's say you are in the early game, like right now, you don't really need the food to do any research, right? You're in Dark Age, or Feudal Age rather. So queuing up more villagers is not that bad of a deal. It just saves you any idle time on your TC. And look, idle time on TC is going a bit higher for SS now, but overall his idle time is less on TC, but his idle eco time is much higher. Why is that? It could be because of his walling. Yeah. Professor sold 100 stone for 91 gold, 100 food for 130 gold, so he's going up very quick. Clicked up to castle, yeah, that's it. So he's going fast castle. Fast castle into what? Knights? Knights would make sense as students. He's heavy on stone, so he's probably gonna go for a castle drop. He knows that the walls are up. Shujat is going for a defensive play. So SS has his main gold behind, and he has a decent wood line, and he has a neutral gold as well, so he's not gonna be too worried. These walls are pretty decent. Not to mention that he has a very big open map on this side, and practically no wood line to wall up with. So I guess this is not a bad idea. This area will be a bit tricky to defend, I think, because of this huge wall, and then this area is rangeable. But then again, he's playing as Britons. He has some archers coming up here, and Professor is almost in Castle Age, and SS should be clicking up any moment now. Doesn't have the buildings yet. Blacksmith came up. Archery range is up, so he should be clicking up any minute now. No market from SS. Okay, there you go, clicked up. And Professor is in Castle Age. Professor is selling his stone for gold and his wood for gold, and then buying is a lion attacking the villagers. Oh boy, a defensive castle, come on man. This should have been a forward castle. A castle somewhere here. Do you know that his gold is here? You know that, right? Absolutely you know that. Yeah, you have scouted it, you know that. Yeah, if you know that, then there's no reason for you not to drop a castle here somewhere. Let's say if you drop a castle somewhere over here. Capture this stone. Yeah, I don't know. Just coming up with ideas as I'm watching the game from both ends. But no, I mean, as students you get free murder holes, right? So a castle here would be amazing. I mean, you could range this wood line, you could range this gold possibly. And then you're into castle age much earlier, so you could pop out some knights to harass SS. Here you go, a bunch of archers coming out. Not crossbows just yet. I don't think SS has clicked up the research for crossbows. TC from Professor. Archers and pikes going forward. Ooh, walking right into the DC. Unlucky. Unlucky there for SS. That's a weird position for the TC as well. It's not right next to the wood line. It should be right up against the wood line. But anyways. Walks around. Another TC coming up all the way in the corner. Wood line plus... Wow. He really spread out his wood line big time, huh? A bunch of villagers going over. So very good use of his scouting by Professor and spreading out his resource gathering. Really goes into corners to build early lumber camps. You know, when the opposition is not really looking to attack in those areas, the opposition is really looking to attack the main base. So it's not a bad strategy to actually build close-up TCs like that, move out and gather resources out. The only problem with this strategy is that if you don't have a TC like this, you will, if you get caught by a scout or something on patrol, it'll really cause you a lot of issues. Here, the only damage that SS probably could do is maybe this wood line. I mean, it'll be really lucky for SS to find with his scout, which is dead now. Actually, doesn't have a scout. The other areas where Professor is collecting resources. Yeah, when you have an eco setup like this, I don't think it's gonna really bother you with the archers there. As you can see, SS is behind. He has more military numbers, but Professor has more kills due to the walk in the TC for SS, I believe. Economy also, SS is behind in will count, 61 to 42. Wow, that's a huge difference. Professor is really going at a boom. Interesting. So probably looking to attack from this side. So SS is, I guess, still trying to find where Professor is really. SS has a lot of archers, but the score difference is really based on the economy. I think that's why Professor is ahead, because of economy. There's a lot more villagers, and here we go. That's the wood line. That's the only wood line probably he could harass. I think SS should be mixing up some siege here. Some siege would be really beneficial. especially rams maybe. In terms of professor, maybe a siege workshop. Wow, that's another TC here. Damn. So that's gonna be the fourth TC. Fourth TC boom. Professor should be able to pump out villagers in no time and gain a lead in economy. The idea is to make sure that you actually pump out those villagers and get your will count to beyond 100 fairly quickly. And I think you can do that because the position you're in right now, you should be able to do that. But these are long range Britain archers. SS has bought food, and sold some wood for gold. Looking to go up, I'm not sure, or maybe creating more archers. No, going up to imp. Very good idea. Is he on stone yet? No, SS, yeah, he is on stone, but where? Don't see it. There, okay, good. So he will roughly have enough stone to do a castle drop maybe. Teuton Knights. Teutonic Knights, rather, is a very bad choice against an archer civ. Because the only thing these things die to is archers. There you go. So he found the first external base, so to say. First external base of Professor out of many that he has created. Look at this, another TC on the 2 goals. This TC is on stone and wood. Some knives coming out now. Again, why is he going after the archers? I have no idea. Archers can't do much. The only place they could probably harass is this. He doesn't need to go there. He needs to go straight into SS's base. Again, he's making a mistake of going after the army. The army, which, yeah, okay, it killed some villagers, but you still have a lead of villagers, almost 20 villager lead. So you don't really need to worry about anything, really. I mean, he killed 10 villagers, big deal, but you can actually go out and hit his eco. Big time. There you go. He's coming in. Selling wood for gold. And there we go. SS has advanced to Imperial Age. Castle coming up right here. And there's a hole. Is there a hole?
Yay?
Ooh, there's no hole, but now it's too late. You showed your knights. Attack here, man. Take out these palisade walls. He just needed to wait like just a couple minutes here. And quite honestly, why worry about these archers and pikes and all that? Leave them. They can't do much. They can't do much. You have your gold. You have your stone. Keep your knights here and keep attacking him on this front. Castle on the hill from SS. See, Professor took a lot of damage there, I think. Wow, killed to death 33 to 26. Okay, I mean, he killed a lot of archers, but you lost a lot of knights as well. Not ideal, not good. I think the knights should be here, harassing, trying to get into the base. Here, there's a very easy opening. Or even here, like I said. If he stayed here for just like 5 to 10 more seconds, this wood wouldn't chopped, he would have been in. And he would cause a lot of idle time. But on the other hand, now the idle eco time for Professor is much higher. Idle TC time is much higher. Coming up with a defensive castle now. Teuton knights are pretty strong. These knights are very strong. They have a lot of armor. And on the other hand, Britain archers are very strong. They have longer range. And they can, I think, tack into halberdier. SS will go for pikes and arbalest. Doesn't have a... okay, he has a university. Tribes are coming out for Professor. Arbalest and pikes coming out for SS. And now it'll be tough for Professor to win because he showed his knights, which means SS will probably go into pikemen. Professor is floating a lot of wood again. Better economy balance from SS. Both players are in Imperial Age, and we're gonna see a Imperial Age post-imp sort of war. Barracks also coming up for Professor. There you go. The more armies are moving out. It's a lot of knights though. I don't think SS has enough pikemen. He took the fight, but I think he could still cause damage if he goes micros a bit. Let's move back your archers. Keep pulling back your archers, and your halberdiers will do the work in front of you. So that's a good play. And like that, Professor lost all of his army. Professor is creating Teutonic Knights, which is it's tough to say that they could win the game here against Britons because Briton archers can just simply shred through them. It's just that the halberdiers will be caught in because of the Teutonic Knights can basically counter the halberdiers. Halberdiers are the trash unit though. Teutonic Knights are much more expensive. Teutonic Knights versus Halberdiers. Of course, Teutonic Knights should win, but those are expensive units. The only difference here is that Assis will probably need to move his archers back, and 2 gold units is a very gutsy play, and mainly because I think Professor was able to take this gold. He was able to take 2 golds here. He still has his main gold that he's taking, and then he has, he has just a lot of gold here. He just has a lot of gold. I think that's the reason why he's being able to counter with 2 gold units, Cavalier and Teutonic Knights. There you go, SS has to take that gold. Like I said, SS doesn't have enough gold on his side. Maybe, I don't know if he actually scouted that area or not. Both players didn't really go for relics. Maybe SS is gonna go for that. He has a monastery. I don't think that Professor has it. Yeah, Professor doesn't have a monastery. I don't see one. So both players will stick to archers and halberdiers to their main units. But of course, if you're playing 2 gold units, it's gonna be tougher to counter them. SS just needs to make sure that he counters the micros well against these guys. SS loses another trap. Professor is selling 100 wood for 14 gold. Both players are selling resources to buy more gold, I guess. Nobody's really going for relics. If you're going late game, I think relics are very important for that extra gold. And I think SS probably needs it more at this point. And if he can get all the relics, if SS can actually drag this game out long enough, Professor could lose this game because Professor is almost running out of gold and he's making 2 gold units. So he'll be running out of gold much quicker than SS would. And provided SS can grab these relics here. You know, if he can grab these relics, he could probably outplay Professor here. Professor losing all his paladins. Wow. Both players microing. A lot of Teutonic Knights. Are these elite? Elite. Elite Teutonic Knights and Elite Paladin. Not Elite Paladin, Paladin. Fully upgraded Paladin. So, very expensive 2 units. He didn't create much of it, but he created enough of it to be able to counter. Because he has a shitload of gold. He has a lot of gold. So does SS. He has almost 2000 gold. But SS doesn't have very good options against his composition. Halberdier and Arbalest is a good counter. The only issue is he's not able to mass the numbers. That's a bad idea from Professor. Why split up and lose so many units like that? There's no point. That castle on the hill is gone, and SS does not have enough to create another castle just yet. He's going for some archery ranges outside the area, but now Professor is moving into economy of SS with his Paladin. And walked right into the halberdiers. Wow, that's what a way to lose all this army. He just walked right into them. Yeah, I think the only reason SS is behind in this game is because he's not able to mass. Yeah, that's 2 gold units for you, Paladin and Teutonic Knights. Very strong units, but you need a lot of gold for this, and I think Professor was very lucky to have all the gold in his area that he had, but he did expand early, which is great to see. He expanded in this area early, and that's why he was able to get a hold of this gold here, and he expanded into this area, he took this gold here, so his early expansion was the key here, and that's why he was able to play 2 gold units at Elite, Teutonic Knights and Paladin. Very strong. Very strong game. $140 to 61 villagers. Wow. 140 villagers, I mean. That's, I think, an ore boom. If you cut down on that a bit. Yeah, at this point looks like it's GG because I don't think SS knows about this gold. SS could go for a TC here, woodline and gold, but I don't think he really sees it, or yeah, he hasn't scouted that area. Yeah, he hasn't scouted that area, unfortunately. If he had, he would probably go for that gold, and that would give him a chance to fight back. But he's still trying to create some halberdiers and keep on fighting. Doesn't give up easy. But the economy behind Professor's gameplay is a lot. He loses monastery. Yeah, why is he not going for relics? This is late game. He should go for relics. Try and get as many relics to keep the gold moving. Keep on creating those arbalists. Halberdier versus Teutonic Knights. SS selling food, I believe, for gold. Professor is looking for outside TC or desert TC coming up, and he's gonna find a lot of villagers here. I'm just passing through. There you go. And I think that should be GG. That's a lot of villagers just dead. Skirms coming out for SS, which has, I believe they have long range as well. Do they have plus or no? A 7 range. Sorry, 8 range. Yeah, SS has no farming eco. That's, he's pretty much out of food. Halberdiers will cost food. So would Skirms. He has a very minimal amount of food eco. Yeah, very tough to defend against 2 gold units. Mind you, I mean, Shujat did defend for a while. It's just that he didn't have the mass that he needed to defend against these 2 very strong units. Halberdier and Arbalest is a perfect combination. It's just that you have to have the mass in order to take down the. I think you need a lot more Arbalest than you need Halberdier. You need a lot more Arbalest, and Arbalest should be able to counter both. Because Teutonic Knights, they die to archers, but also do these paladins because they have a higher melee armor, but they don't have a high pierce armor. And that's it. So well played by Professor and well defended by SS overall. I think Professor prolonged it a bit too much. I think his first castle as Teutons could have been forward. Like we saw, SS's woodline was exposed and his main gold was exposed. SS had a bad map in my opinion, like in terms of his resources. He had a much worse map than Professor, but Professor took advantage of expanding early. That was his play. That was his good play in this game. He went outside his base much earlier on this side, and on this side expanded much earlier. So that was well played by Professor. Both players did not collect relics. I would say maybe Shujat should have collected relics. It would give him a good boost onto the gold, and maybe help him a lot more to mass those archers. Um, Professor went for an overboom, 140 villagers, a lot of villagers. I guess you need that to play two gold units. I personally don't recommend that because I think if SS played this slightly different and just went for the relics and was able to mass more archers, I think he would have won this game because Professor would have simply run out of gold. That's the only drawback on this. But well played by Professor. He took advantage of his good map, his better map with more gold, and won the game. That was good. That was good to watch, and it was a good fight between the two civs, Teutons and Britons. I think Britons are slightly. I think they're stronger. I think Britons should win in this matchup. Uh, Personally, because really Teutons don't have any answer to their archers. If SS was able to mass the ARP list, I think he would have won this game. Even if you know Professor was coming with two gold units, I think SS would have been able to win this game with a handful of halberdier in the front and a mass of archers. Would win this game against students. Anyways, GG, well played. Thank you for watching, guys.